Hello, traders. So I had the wrong time on there, but anyways, let's look at this. Here we are. The market is opening right now, the London market, I should say. And I haven't did a live stream quite some time because of the holiday season. So what I'm going to be looking here now is going to be this. Where is our trade? And, you know, it's been quite erratic because of the holiday season. So let's see if we can find a good setup here based on the deviation levels and the signals that my students know, and also based on the MBox wave that I currently trade with as well, that complements this VWAP strategy. Now, you don't need the MBox wave to trade the VWAP strategy. You can just trade the template by itself. Now, those of you who are interested in learning the VWAP strategy, what you'll have right now would be the template showing the various levels. So you'll also get what I'm going to also add this free indicator. It's called a fair value range. I think that's what it's called. Fair value. Let me see if I can find it here. I just downloaded. In fact, I've been trading with it recently. So it's basically fair value range, I think. Let me see here. Fair value gap. That's what it is. And it signals right here. Those are good entry trade setups, right? So here we're getting another one here. You can see we have another big one here as resistance. And that's usually where it is. That's around the +2, between the +2 and +3 deviation, meaning we have a gap down, a fair value gap to the downside. This one is to the upside. Now you can see how these are made. See this? When we have a fair value gap, is basically when you have a candle here that has nothing in between when it goes up there. So the in between, this gap right there is right there, from here to here. That gap right there is basically like strong momentum. So you'll see this gap, and it may play. You see sometimes price bounce off that, like right here. This is a fair value gap to the downside. So you can see it's bouncing off. And that's fairly big, right? So that's, I'd say that's a really strong resistance. What else can I say here? Let me load up something here as well. I don't hear my other tickers. Anyways, you can see how it's causing a, let's see what happens here. If this is going to be a, what we call a spinning top, or a, this type of candle pattern. There, created another, see that? Create another gap. So now we have this gap going up and this gap going down. So there's going to be a battle going on there. So we want to see what's going to happen. So those of you who have just the template in itself, be looking at this. Let me see if I can find it. Here we are. Now I like using the MBox wave, right? Because it tells me how many increase in demand and supply. So for example, here is 226. It's been increasing. We have a total control dot there, meaning it's the upside. So I could have entered here if I wanted to, but for me, this is kind of overbought almost, because we're at the +2 deviation of the VWAP. And see, now it's entering this phase right here, right, into this resistance zone. Now it breaks there, then maybe I may look to enter if it has a pullback. See this? So now if you're looking at this other entry here, and you see here. Now I'm trying to figure out what account will I trade. I just got funded in 2 days with Apex, and they have that promotion where you can get funded in less than basically the same day, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not really trying to get force any trades. Yesterday was a good trading, especially at the end of the day. Let me see here. What am I gonna use here? 79. Okay. Let's use number 79. Okay. I want to make sure that I have the same account here that I have before. Yep. Okay. So you see here, it's bouncing off here. I want to see if it's going to bounce off, and you can see it's strong, still a strong momentum to the upside. I want to see this. We have a pullback algo. Now, those of you that don't have that software, this is what you'll be looking at. Most likely this one, right? So I think 79 is the one. And I'd be looking at this I want to see if I have the same setup here. I got 5, 6 there. So let me do this. Open, okay, there. So see, it's coming down. Like I said, it's kind of overbought. So now if we break down here, we want to see what's going to happen here. Now, if you're looking at this again on this one right here, you can see, oh, this is a different program. Let me see here. I'll include this this indicator for free. Let me see here, wide range bar, but we'll take that out and add this new one that does much better. This one. Template load. Let me just do my. Okay, so it's going to start printing there. So we'll see what's going to happen here. See right there. So this is based on a 2-minute. So let me see here. Let me change this. The one I trade with is a 1 minute. So the indicator here, you can see it's 1 minute. So let me change it to 2 minute. Which is right there, 2 minute. Okay, there we are. So this is the 2 minute chart. And you can see we're on the +2, between the +2, +3 deviation. And like I said, when you get to this area, you can see the momentum kind of quit. It's really just beginning to, consolidate, accumulate. And we'll see if it's going to break down here or will it continue going up. That's the should I say, we have to determine that. Well, does it have enough momentum to really go back up to 0.75? Right now we're at the +2.0. This is +3 on the deviation. It may get up to here, right? But how many points is that? That's the question. Right now my target is around 13.75 points. I'm trading 5 contracts. So based on this, I can see we still have a strong momentum to the upside, right? But I want to see a break. So let's say this is coming off that fair value gap. But right now we're not really seeing this. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put maybe a pending order, maybe 78. See here. See, now we're getting a strong signal. Let me see, 76, 75.
Order submitted.
Okay, so I'm going to be putting a pending order there to the upside. Let's see if we can scalp this, because what we're seeing here is we're getting increase in the cumulative delta, meaning that we're getting increase in maybe momentum. But we had another algo there that showed up. This is basically the buying imbalance. But here's my concern. You see this? Demand is now decreasing from 227 to 32. So I may not, let me see. And I don't really like, let's get this off.
Order canceled.
I don't really like trading when it's already at the +2 or on the in between here, right? Because why? It's just too whatchamacallit, too risky, because we're saying it's overbought, right? So that's what it looks like. So here's the +1. I'd rather see trading somewhere around here, coming here to the +1 deviation and going back to the +2. Now, those of you who are the VWAP students, the ideal setup is coming from a +1 to a +2 rather than a +2 coming down to a +1. I'd rather see that. So maybe that's what we're going to do. In fact, this move started way back at 1, I believe, or even 2 right here. Would have been a great setup. Gave us a signal there, and we definitely had a signal right here. It started off right here, right? That's around close to 2 o'clock. There's your signal. We have a crossover the 21 EMA over the 50, push, come back down there. Again, we could have entered anywhere here or even here right off the fair value gap right there. And you got your points at least. entry there. And you would gotten at least, look at that, 24 points. You would have hit your 2 targets. That would have been 100 some bucks. You're done for that session. Again, our goal here for the session, depending on how many contracts you trade, is usually around 100, around 100 or 200. I'm fine with that. It just builds up on my profit for the day. My profit for the day is around 200. Yesterday, kind of went over that. I made 1,000, a little over 1,000 for the day yesterday. I mean, I only take what the market gives me. It's giving me that much, I'll take it. I'm not going to pass it up. You only take. I don't sit there and tell the market this is how much I'm going to make. But at a minimum, I can easily get, knowing with the strategy, I can easily get between $200 easily a day, and I'm done. But if it's willing to give more, then I'll take it. I mean, you have to know when the market is coming to you. It's not you sit there and try to force it, because if you try to force it, you'll end up losing. That's all I can say. Okay, let me see here. So here, like I said, let's go ahead and take that trade, because I know when again, my VWAP students know that we're on the +2, on +3. That's really a pullback zone, right? That's usually a pullback zone, and right here we already have a pullback zone of strong resistance level because of the fair value gap to the downside. And where did that come from? Here, I'll show you. Where did that fair value? Usually it's from yesterday's market, so it's never been broken. So if you go all the way back, look at this, we're extending right here where we had the big down. See that? Right there. There's your big gap right here. We started right here. This candle right here, from here to here, there's your fair value gap downside, as well as over here. There's the big one. See that? That's when it first stopped. So it hasn't broken that gap yet to the upside, right? So this is where we're at right now, right there. So now there's one here to the bounce up and down to the downside. There's a battle over there. We have to determine what's a good setup or a trade entry, high probability trade entry. And how am I looking at this? I'm looking at this now. Demand here is decreasing. Now we have a selling imbalance right there, meaning now we are getting these algo signals to the downside. This is what we call a triple algo to the downside. We have a selling imbalance. However, this is still strong to the upside. So there is like divergence going on there. So I'd rather wait till the divergence clears, because this may still, according to this, still go up. Now how we can confirm this is really the price action, right? We don't base anything on, indicators just indicate what happened in the past. What we trade is usually what's in front of us. What is price action doing, right? So again, we just wait. We don't force any trades. We wait for the market to come to us. Now, here's the scenarios I'm looking for. So since we have strong resistance here, and we also have now just a new support level here, it's battling between those two areas. Now, what I want to see is technically coming down, right? We may take a trade, again, depending on how many points that is. If we're looking at this, if we take a trade later on, somewhere around there, and maybe hitting this area right here, we're looking at what? 14 points. That's good enough for me for my first target around that area, right? But the ideal one would be coming down here and then bouncing back up. That's the ideal one because the trend is to the upside. As you can see here, if I'm looking at this, let me see if I can get this. If I'm looking at this, where have we been doing since the Globex session opened? So the Globex session opened. You can see we've been spending most of it. The price has been above the VWAP most of the time. See that, right? So where did we open? We opened way over here, right? Here's the opening. So we've been above the VWAP most of the time, never really below it. See that? So there's going to be a time like right now, it may try to test the VWAP. It's overdue. You can see we get down to the +1, went up to the +2 again. Ideal trade would have been right there, right? Right here, coming off the 50 EMA and the 21 EMA, and you have the shift of the 21 EMA finally going up. Ideal trade would have been right here, breaking off that right there. And you already got your points. So that was the move. It was prior to the London opening, and sometimes that's what they do. Yesterday, I got right in time for the break that they had to the downside, and I was able to make money on that trade. So now, like I said, the best is to wait for the market and see what it's going to do. You can see what it's doing. It's bouncing off there's a lot of confluence right there, bouncing off the 21 EMA, also bouncing off this fair value gap as well. Now, those of you, my current students who this fair value gap indicator, I will upload to the site to you guys so you can use it, and also how to use it. It's very good. I like it. It complements the VWAP or any type of system that you may use. It's very good, and it's free. So I'll upload that to our Telegram site for those of you who are in the VWAP, who took the VWAP course or currently taking the VWAP course. So now we have a trade signal here. This is basically this UT that's considered up thrust plus a what we call a stooges. That's indicating momentum. There's a possible momentum shift. This is really what's happening here. This up movement is losing momentum. That's what it means. Where you have here the opposite, you have what we call a spring. Let me see if I can find one here to the upside, and that's what happened. Right there. That signals that this down move has basically lost momentum. It's now will be looking to the upside, and look at that upside move, big. That doesn't mean this move here to the downside will be big either. I don't know. We'll see what the market says. So that's where we're at. We're getting now some signs of weakness. You can see demand decreasing, 227, 33, now 15. Even though this is increasing the amount of, let's see what's going to happen if it's going to break out here. What I want to see if I do take this trade is the candle or the bar closing above the +2 deviation, closing, not just piercing like these wicks here, because those are teasers. You want to see the actual candle closing above the +2 deviation. That might be because you see the cumulative down. See, now it's decreasing now. See that? Again, not that much demand going on here. Now it's picking up again. Let's see what happens here with the price action. Those of you breakout traders, you're probably looking at this breakout and maybe one tick above here. They'll fill that and maybe come back down, right? These are breakout traders. So I just want to see what they're going to do here. Are they going to actually close above here or what? Or will they just pierce it or come back down? That's why I like waiting for the bar to close. So now we can see that we're slowly increasing this demand. Now we're getting a total control, right? See that? We can almost a total control dot, which is very powerful. So this may be just a tease. Let's see what happens. Again, I'm only trading 5 contracts, and this is on the micro NQ. There we are. So now we have a here buying imbalance. So maybe that's a strong right there. It is. Let's get down here. Maybe it's too
Order
late.
submitted.
Let's see. We come back.
Order filled.
There we are. So there's my entry. See that we had a now it disappeared. We had a buying imbalance to the upside. We have this total control. See this? This is momentum building up right here. This is what we call X pace. It's signaling a increase in momentum to the upside. Now let's see if it's going to continue, or was that what we call a bull trap? We will determine. So now people would ask me, where is your stop? So you can be down here in the last swing. It can be anywhere down here, or it can be below this fair value gap. Doesn't matter. But since it appears that I want to see it close above that, so I maybe bring it up to here, maybe right here, maybe 2 points, which is fine. So again, this may test the, again, we want to see it break this this area. And right now we're getting double algos here. We get a buying imbalance, a pullback, which is to the, this in parentheses like that means it's strong pullback because it's with the trend. And I may adjust my take profit again, depending on where, right? So right now my stop right now is 14 points. I like this trade because, you know, here's the 21 EMA, here's the 50. There's a gap there, meaning strong momentum to the upside. We'll just see if it's going to honor that. Or is this, again, is this a bull trap? We shall find out. We have a strong decrease here. See that? This may end up as a bull trap. But there's a lot of divergence going on in this one. I took this trade because of this control, this total control, and the increase in the units of delta, and then they just killed it. Like they're like a power switch and just turned it off, the momentum. But we do have still a buying imbalance right there, and it's bouncing off. We'll see if it's going to bounce off the 21 EMA like it did here, and it did here. You know, you see how many times it's been bouncing off the 21 EMA. So hopefully it bounces off the 21 EMA. But like I said, I really don't like taking trades when it's up here. They'll just tease you like they've been doing. But I like this, yeah, with buying imbalance there. Even though this is decreasing, we had some momentum to the upside here. So let's see. Would this be considered as a high probability trade? Probably not. And I also like this trade. Why? Because this candle here closed above the +2 deviation, indicating that it may continue going up. At least trying to test up here the +3 deviation. But you can see it's respecting the 21 EMA as support, which is a good thing. It may get down here to the 50 EMA, but it's still within this fair value gap to the upside. Now, that's why I have my stop below this fair value gap. Because once they break that, you know, there's a potential that it will continue to the downside. So if I'm going to put this maybe 67, I'd put this stop maybe 1 point from there. And they'll be right there. And I'll move it up accordingly as this breaks this swing high up here. I will move this then up maybe to here or even here, depending on the momentum to the upside. You see, there's a lot more greens than reds on those on those order flows going on here, right? Between the buyers, or what we call demand and supply. There's a lot of demand, right? We have a buying imbalance, and so forth. We don't see a lot of these red numbers, which is demand, which is supply. So far, there's a lot of demand, but again, you're showing the numbers, but the price is not really obeying it. We're seeing an increase here, but price is still going down. So really, there's more of a divergence going on. So we'll see what's actually going on when. So we only go by what price action is about, right? So now we do have now a number down here, which is now red, but we still have this algo. Again, we want to see this bounce off the fair value gap here, or will it hit my stop? Which, for me, like I said, I'm not scared of losing, but at least I gave this a chance, right? And like I said, do I consider this a high probability trade setup? Probably not, because we're already at the +2 -2 deviation. Now, I'm looking at this. Look at this increase in momentum. We have a total control down to the downside. I may just stop this out right here. Save some.
Stop filled.
There we are. So we got stopped out. I know increase in momentum right there. You see that. Okay, so now we look like we're going to be going down here. So you see how this fair value gap to the downside held up. Now we'll see what happens here. We want to see this close below this gap. If it does, then we have a strong indication that it may continue coming down here and then going back up. Let's see. And now for those traders that don't have the MBox, remember what I said, we will have to determine where this bar closes. There, it closed below, so that's a good entry. So now we have is just see this? We have another fair value gap to the downside. So most
Order
likely
submitted.
it will try to test that. I'll put a sell right there just outside this fair value gap right here. See this? Now it's going down. Let's see if we can get this. Again, we want to see this break below. And I will put this maybe right here.
Order filled.
So fair to say where I can put this stop would be right here, right above this, here's the fair value gap, right? Maybe 1 point above that, or for me, I'd probably put it up right there. So now we have resistance areas right here and right here. And did we break this fair value gap to the upside? Not yet. We pierced it, but we didn't close below it. We want to see it close. That's why it's still active. This one, it would disappear once we close below this fair value gap to the upside. So we have now we have a sell signal. See this right there? This column here is right here. We had a buy signal, which is right here, and that was a good buy. So now we have a sell signal to the downside. Now let's see, it's testing this fair value gap. Like I said, it will. And also we're still below the 21 EMA, which is right there. Let me get rid of those text. I'll just use that to show do not plot. Okay, there. So you can see clear. Again, we have a sell signal right here, right? So those of you with not the MBox, but with the regular template, I would be placing a pending order here, 1 tick below this swing right there. again, this one, here's your +1 deviation. It may bounce off this one, right? The +1. We shall see. It's been spending a lot of time above that, so we may just see a really test to the VWAP. Let's see what happens. Again, my target here is around 14, 14 points. I took a loss here of around 10, so still that would be a small profit of maybe what, 4 points, which is better. At least it would cover my loss, right? And again, this is not an ideal trade setup. If you look at the trade setups that I give, the VWAP strategy, this is not any of them. I'd rather wait for the +1 to the +2 deviation rather than a minus, or in this case, +2 to a +1. This is what's going on here. And usually I won't take that because first of all, ever since here, right? If I took it here, we still have this 50 EMA. Usually what it does is bounces off that 50 EMA. Now you saw where I took my trade here down here, and I don't mind when it kind of has a drawdown, but I know where it's gonna not go. That's why I have my stop up there. Had a little drawdown, and then now it's coming back down. And again, the MBox wave is confirming we have a selling imbalance. We also have another selling, what we call a signal here to the downside, because of the trend to the downside. You see it comes here, creates a lower high, right? Lower highs, meaning it's coming down. And that's an algo signal. Same thing here. I'll pull back again. Again, these are all red. Another selling imbalance. So that's proves, that's really strong signals to the downside. Not only that, you have this to the downside. We just have to see price cooperate. That's the only thing. Like I said, hopefully there's going to be a strong signal to the downside because it's due. We've been up here for most of the Globex session. You want to see it probably go down here, but since there's no really support here, it may just get down here. Again, that's enough for me, right? Or it may test down here, or even test the VWAP. Let's see what happens. Getting a strong algo signal right there. This is what we call a triple algo. Pullback, three stooges, and a selling imbalance. Triple algo. However, look at this. We have a spring algo here. So now we have another battle once again. This spring again is a strong, meaning that downturn is weakening. And that's the reason why we have this thing going up. Again, you see it's bouncing off the +1 deviation, which I said it would. But again, we have some fair value gap right here to the downside. So as long as this candle doesn't break or close, it can pierce it. Doesn't close above the 21 EMA. You can see the 21 EMA now is downward sloping, where it's going to try to cross the 50 EMA. Once it crosses that 50 EMA, we have a higher probability that it's going to continue coming down. As evidenced is here, right? Increase in there in the cumulative delta. But again, here, let's see what happens here. If this closes above the 21 EMA, then I may look to again cut my trade short and just get another small loss. Again, we want to see when this candle closes. Okay, now we have a buying imbalance to the upside. It's closing above the 21 EMA. Again, we're getting some divergent calls here, so I'm going to wait for this and see. Most likely, this is what I'm going to do. Probably take this off and just close this. Let's see what it's going to do here. So now we see the decrease here, right? So I might just take this loss. I can see there it is pushing up. And that's what I said. Like I said, it's bouncing off the 21 EMA, but I thought it would be coming down further, but I guess not. Let's see. Again, we still have this sell signal, right? This one right here. It may honor this fair value gap. Again, we have a swing up here. Just as long as we have a lower swing, and like a lower high, that's fine. So maybe I might have to put it up here, right? Again, depends if it's gonna create this lower or higher high. Here's your high. It may swing down below that. Let's see. Okay, now we have a buy signal there. So now what I can do is bring this down. Have a, if it does,
Stop filled.
got stopped out there. So let's see. Look at this. We have some divergence going on. See this? It's showing increase to the downside. I'm gonna respect that. I don't like taking these trades going up to the upside. Maybe to the +2 deviation. Let's see. We have a buy signal there, so I want to see where this bar closes. I want to see above this fair value gap. Right, we have 22 seconds left in there, and if it closes above that, then we have this will erase. We have another value gap right here. We're right in the middle of one right now. Again, there's divergence going on here. I'm gonna just put off here because it may still come back down. So now we close above there. So if I do this, we have a buy signal.
Order submitted.
So here, somebody says, how much have you been losing? So right here, today is the 21st. So that would have been my second loss, right? So it's 217. That's it. 217.50.
Order filled.
Well, there I got filled there. Again, that's very manageable. So now we have a target up there for 14 points. I may lower that down to maybe +2. Again, we'll see what happens here. Again, I don't like what's going on here. There's a big divergence, right? And again, I'm a note here to my traders. I always pay attention to the 21 EMA. This one was more of an aggressive trade to the downside. And the things I really don't pay attention to what the 21 EMA is doing. If the 21 EMA is above the 50 EMA, that usually indicates that we still have a trend to the upside. You can see it never really crossed below. It still remained above, even though it was close here, but it still remained above, and therefore you see the punch. But we just had a pullback. This is basically a pullback, and that was it. So we still have a continuation of the upside trend. Again, how far will this go? I don't know. It may get up to here. So we may want to maybe lower our target to there. So let me just bring this down to here, and then bring this maybe up down to there. Okay. At least to the +2 deviation, because usually that's a target from +1 to +2. Again, it will cut down at least we lessened our loss, right? It's about managing your losses. Again, my stop losses have been manageable. It's not outrageous. 10 points is nothing in terms of micros. So again, it looks like the liquidity or the volatility kind of died down. Let's give this maybe until what happens at the outcome of this trade, then we will stop until maybe looking at the pre-market open. I'll be looking at that. But again, this 200 loss is not really, it's not really a big thing. It's manageable. Again, it's honoring that zone. See that? It's honoring that zone. But now what I like about this is now you see this cumulative delta is now decreasing to the upside, right? See that? This may test this 50 EMA, see how they're doing with this up and down thing. Again, I'm not worried about it. If it does its thing, it does its thing. That's all we can do. But we're looking at what price action is doing. Again, sometimes price does not honor structure. And that's when you know it's being manipulated by the algo, the machine trading. Since most of the institutional traders are off on vacation for the holiday. So what's going on is sometimes you have the algo traders, which are basically machine based, right? And they have a certain program which may not coincide with the market structure. It's basically coinciding off a program that these traders program, and they're basically based on certain levels, not on the market structure. And once you notice that it's not obeying market structure, that's when you know you quit, you stop trading. He's never going to try to figure out that programming or what that algo is trying to, the trading program that algo is trading. So apply some Fibonacci levels here. So we did pull back to the Fibonacci level, at least close to the 50% pullback, which is good. So target is looking at maybe up here. That's our first target, and if it goes, if the momentum is there, the second target would be up there, the extension. Let's see how this this momentum is right now. We're getting triple algos again as usual. We do have a UT there, up thrust, meaning weakening of this up movement, but usually when that's there, it usually, once we hit, past this swing here, it's going to disappear. It's just telling you that looks like the trend is to the upside is exhausting, meaning it's weakening, right? But we have a lot of positive numbers here, especially here. We want to see this become green like this. We're getting triple algos to the upside. Again, you may have the signals, but again, you want to see where price obeys. Sometimes price is being manipulated, especially now during the holidays. You see that a lot of times. Again, because it's by algo traders. Again, we're 21 EMA still above the 50 EMA, which is good. We'll see this either try to bounce off 21 EMA or the 50 EMA. Again, my stop is down here by the swing close to there. And if it already broke this swing, I may bring it just down here to really have a tight stop, but I just don't want to have it that tight.
Stop filled.
Yeah, not limited my stop. So, this is just going up and down here. Again, bouncing off the zone, which is a good thing. Maybe this is a good signal. Again, let's see where this closes, and I'll probably end it right now. Down currently. Again, it's hard market to trade like when it's going like this. Yeah, 280. And again, it's not that bad. 12,050 cent loss. So again, wherever this is, now we get a see that total control. Now we have a nice. Let's not commit ourselves there until
Order
it's going to
submitted.
continue going down because it's bouncing off this fair value gap, which is a good signal, right? Also, it's closing below the 50 EMA, below the 21 EMA, and this may get down to maybe here again. Again, I don't want to take these shorts because I want to see a good short when you see the candle here break below the, close below the +1 deviation. Then there is a possibility that it may continue going down to test the VWAP down here. But right now, there's not really that much. It's just going up and down here right now. I don't want to be playing that. I'll just be maintaining this thing where most likely it will honor this fair value gap, right? So let me just bring this down maybe here, right there, maybe closer to that gap. Oh, it just went past my my pending order. I don't know what happened to that.
Order filled.
Again, what looks like they may try to close above the 21 EMA. Again, here's uh, the fair value gap zone. I'm just going to play this gap. This is usually there's your area. If you win that gap and not breaking up there, you might as well have your stop up here, right? Right there. And usually, if I'm going to do this, I'm looking at R value, which is basically 1.5 R. So my target will be down here, at least a 1.5 R. Okay. If I don't get that, then it's not worth it. So if I lose there, that's fine. But if I get down here, at least that's a 1.5 R. So let's see what happens. Again, this is going to be definitely my last trade. I'll put this in mute and we'll watch how this plays out. So now you see this, we have a fair value gap right here to the upside. It's bouncing off that, see that? So this may just continue going up. Again, this is another, look at this, another $12 loss for me. Let's see if I can, if I want to take this or not. Again, I may just let it run up here. So you know what? Let me just close this out because we have bouncing off this fair value gap to the upside. Will that be enough to have this run up there? Let's see. Again, another around 6 point loss, which is fine. Because this is a key right here. This is going with a trend to the upside. So let's see. Let me close this out.
Stop filled. Order filled. You're seeing these up thrusts here. These are signals where the momentum is dying to the upside. That's where that's why it's showing that. So it's 2 times again. See this showed this? It went down. Showing again here, will it go down? But here we did not have this gap right here. Now we do. Doing the same thing. See, that's what I'm saying about this a market like this. It's hard to trade, and that's why you don't want to be chopped out like this. So again, this is my last. I keep on saying that, but definitely is. So where are we on this thing in terms of, again, maybe I have a $12 loss here again, right? Or no, this is a total of 662.50. So there, look at this. I'm down 350. Look at these small losses here. So this one, 14.28. So 14 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I mean, it adds up. So I'm down 300, and this is definitely my last trade. But if I can't minimize my loss share, then I'm done. And again, I don't be sitting here getting chopped out.
I know where my loss tolerance is, and that's basically this is it. So 14 times 5 is around $70 loss. Again, so you might say, "Well, that's nothing." Yeah, but you don't want to keep on getting chopped out. That's the thing, because it's going to add up. Again, I'm already down like 350 here, right? Yeah. So that's basically my tolerance right there. So I'm not trading my funded account. I don't trade my funded accounts maybe after the holiday. What I'm trying to do is really accumulate funded accounts and then trade them maybe after the holidays, because this is not very conducive for a funded account, to tell you the truth. Maybe trading the morning session like I did yesterday. That would be just do one or two trades that are high probability setups and you're done. You can slowly build up your funded account. But that, because I have several funded accounts and I just pick the ones that I want to trade. I have a 50,000, I have a 25,000 I just got now, and I have several other ones that's close to getting another funded account. So that's what I'm doing, is accumulating funded accounts. Because at this type of market right now, I'm trading an evaluation, so it's not really my. I just got another funded account yesterday, so I'm not gonna waste my effort on this type of market like this. I'll just waste it on an evaluation rather than a funded account. So again, my main objective is to accumulate funded accounts during the holiday season, and then after the holiday season, I will start trading those funded accounts. So my main objective in this trade is to just minimize my loss. If I get another loss here, then I'm definitely done, but it's still manageable for me. Again, the drawdown for this 25,000 is 1,500. Okay, so this has been going on for quite some time. Let me see, close to 2 hours. Hey Waldo, now in 53 minutes, and you can see it's just grinding. One thing you should notice is really respecting this bottom zone here of that um, fair value gap to the downside. This is from yesterday's market. It's never been broken. It's being used as resistance. You can see how well of a resistance it is. However, we see have like double, triple tops right now, or even quadruple tops. So eventually this will break. And why am I still? Yeah, cumulative delta is weakening. You can see that, but I'm looking at price action. We still have the 21 EMA still above, and we does continue coming down here. Let's see. Again, here's your. It may come down here, test this base here, and then come back up again. I'm gonna play this out until where I can see, either a loss or a profit. Again, my goal is to just limit my losses, but you can see we're making progress, right? We're getting higher lows, higher highs, but now here we're no longer getting higher highs. So meaning there's a standstill going on here. Now it may break this, which it is doing right now, meaning no longer higher lows, and this may continue going down and testing this. So that's the dilemma I'm at right now. So again, with MBox is telling me now that this cumulative delta has now decreased. Now just to the negative territory, we're seeing this. This may come back down here to the +1 deviation and then go back up. That's what it's been doing, right? Now we have a sell signal coming here. Again, knowing this, it may finally break through, because it will, because it's been testing this channel between the +1 and +2. When prices between these two deviation levels, it's trending. It may look like it's going nowhere, but it's slowly going up, as you can see. I mean, it's what we call grindy behavior. So it may eventually get to this level, right? Again, to this +2 deviation like it did here. It's just taking its time. Again, now we have a sell signal here. Now we have to pay attention to that. We're getting algos here, selling algos, right? Pullback, but not really the pullback that's coming from a trend to the downside. The trend to the downside would have a pullback that says what? It's in parentheses, and this one isn't. That type of signal is a lot stronger than just this regular pullback, right? So, for example, these stooges right here, we call these stooges. Yeah, they're in parentheses. Why? Because they're going with it's basically signifying this signal is going with a trend. This is going with a trend, right? Again, we just want to see what the price is doing here, even though this is saying it's going down. Yes, it's going down. But most likely it's going to test this again, this value area gap, right? And there's also a pivot point right there. So there's strong confluence here where it will probably test that and come back up. So like I said, it's going in between this channel right now. Now if it comes down here, it takes my loss, that's fine. But do I want to, again, is that my risk tolerance? Again, I know where my tolerance is in terms of how far down I'm going to get down here, but I mean, in terms of losses, because I know what I can manage. But again, here, like I said, the 21 EMA is still above the 50 EMA, even though it's, like it did here. Look at this, it's coming down. It never went below, but it still continued going up. Same thing here, right? And usually this is not that much. See, here's the value. See, we're not as much as this one. This is the most right here. This is the level right there. It's not even close to that. Right now, it's right. There's the second most. See this right down here? Cumulative delta. It's still less than this, right? So if I'm going to draw an arrow here, see this right there? This level right here where it peaked out. We're getting what? Oops, I'm sorry. Let me do this. See this right there? Right there. It's not quite there yet, right? This is what we're seeing here is just steadily going up. Here, same thing right there. See, the peak was right here, right? The peak was right there. From here to here, it's going up, right? It's going up from here to here. Eventually, you see that, right? And then it's still not reaching this peak here. Now, if it does break that, then maybe I'll be looking at it now. But right now, it's still not as big as this second one or this one right here. This is the largest one right now, right? But you can see what's going on here. This is going, it's basically going up. Now you can see this is also decreasing. So it's basically creating a what? Triangle, a wedge, as you may say, right? So if I'm going to have a wedge, it's going to be like this, right? From here to here. Here's my wedge. And another wedge here, ray, from here to here. So now you can see now, if it breaks this wedge, which it's doing right now, then I may look into this. Now I'm only a 2-point, right now I'm only at a 2-point loss. When the price test and the support, there are a lot of bids below. It may, more selling can happen. Right. There's going to be more selling. We're increasing in supply here. But that's been happening here, like it happened here. What had happened? If we had a lot of bids, if we had a lot of supply here, then what happened? It just kept going up because we're in that channel again between the +1 and the +2. Again, with this now formed this fair value gap, it's going to bounce off this and most likely continue going back up. So again, my loss right now is only 1.25. That's really small. So now here, now see this? Now we're approaching this level right there. See this right here? This cumulative delta. So technically, we're still lower than this one. We're still higher than this pivot. We're still higher. See, we're going from here to here. You're getting higher what? Higher lows. Now, if we want to see a reversal, we want to see this right here, this swing low be broken, right? So if I draw a line here, I want to see this broken right here. Right there. That's where I want to see broken. Again, you know, it's this downward trend is not as strong as we want to believe. Again, look at those size of those candles. They're not really indicating strength. See, now look at this. What do we see this? Now we have a decrease of the cumulative value going down. So now it's increasing up. See that? This one right there. Again, my loss right now is only 1 point. That's nothing. I think my total loss right here, if I'm looking at it, my total risk, I should say, is from here. I'm going to draw it like this. So my total risk from here to here. There's my total risk. The total risk is what? $22. That's it. 22 times how many contracts do I have? That's a little over 100. So that's fine. That's my risk, $22 per contract. I have 5 contracts right now. Again, this is micros, so I can my risk. I mean, my stop loss can be very wide depending on what your risk tolerance is. Right now, 22 times 5 is over a little over 100. That's it. Like I said, this is it's really just testing these levels, and that's what it's doing, and that's what they want to do. They just grind it out. You can see now. Do you see this? It's not really getting quite. It's not breaching this level right here. This level, this line right here. Okay, so let's see until it breaches. It may again bounce off this area because we have a again fair value gap right here, right? And now here we have a cross. That arrow cross is signifying that now we finally have a 21 EMA cross below the 50 EMA. Now, we never got this over here. So this may now signal a downtrend or continue going down. That's when you see that 21 EMA. So now I'm going to expect this to test this, what you want to call it? This 50 EMA. Then that's where I'm going to close the trade out, because that's where it looks like it's going to be headed. So let's see this. I'm going to put it right here, my profit target. So at least, let's see if it's going to test that. Most likely it will. So I'm going to leave it right here. It's going to come back up and test this 50 EMA. Or, like I said, it may hit my stop, which one's ever. That's fine. But once this 21 EMA crosses, most likely it will test the 50 EMA, come back up and test the 50 EMA. Now just, have a small profit if that's the case. But again, my loss here is not that big. And this would be my last trade until maybe the pre-market, which is around, for me, it's going to be 8 p.m. What is that? It's 8 p.m. Philippine time and 7 a.m. Eastern. That's it. There's good opportunities there. And I might just also, again, minimize the loss. Again, the best trade would be this, the open session of the morning session. You just have to see good entries. That's how I got my $1,000 day yesterday. So let's see what's going to happen here. If it's going to bounce off this +1 deviation and also this fair value gap up. Let's see what does that. So now it looks like we're testing this out right down here, the cumulative delta. So again, I'm not scared of losing. Losing is part of trading. It's really managing that loss. Right, managing your loss, knowing how to manage that. So I'm going to show you something here. So this is yesterday's trade. Trade performance. Okay, so this is yesterday. So we're down on 350. That's fine. If I get another loss here, that'd be around 450, around 500. Okay. So now it never tested. So now this is strong momentum. That's indicating this is strong momentum to the downside. Let's see what it does here. If it breaks this fair value gap, then it's now getting to the downside. And how does this get broken? It's not just the piercing of the wick. The candle has to close. It has to close below this right here, this area there. Okay.
Stop filled.
And I'm saying we got stopped out. So like I said once I get that stop, so I'm done for this session. Now you see the strong momentum to the downside. Okay, so now it's going to really test this this VWAP. Do I want to take a trade? Again, we want to see this pullback like it's doing right now, because this basically, see, it broke that fair value. Now it disappeared, right? So you see this pullback, right? I was going to pull back. Most likely I'll try to pull back up here somewhere. That's why I didn't want to take that trade. And I could have minimized my loss if that was the case, but that's where I wanted my stop. So now you can see that. Now, do I want to take a trade coming down? Again, we have strong cumulative delta coming down. If I'm going to take a trade, probably this right here. You can see here we have the Fibonacci pullback. It's really pulling back into the Fibonacci zone. And it might even try to get back up here, right? To test this area again, once again. That's why, but here we have the 21 EMA headed down. It's time for this to test the VWAP, to tell you the truth. Went here, test back up, went down, it went back down, tested back up. Now it's coming down. It's going to test this +1 deviation here, come back down. That's the pattern. So if I'm going to take a trade, it'll probably be pending order right here to break this swing and then continue coming down. Again, we're at the pullback of the Fibonacci, which are these levels right here. You have the 30, 38, right? The 50 and the 61, right? Again, here's the pullback I was looking for. It just happened late. Now I don't know if it's going to go all the way back up here somewhere. Now it depends on where if this bar or candle closes above the 50, it closes, not just the wick, closes above the 50 MA. Then we're looking at maybe may test the +2 deviation again. Again, we have a strong right here. You can see it's pink. We have a strong value area, right? Fair value area right here, where it's been honoring. Like I said, how many? Try to test it 1, 2, 3 times, and nothing happened. Hard to break. So that's a very strong resistance up there. But here we go. We're testing again. Like I said, it's going to test this 50 MA. It may just overshoot and just continue testing up there. That's why what they're doing with this market, they're just manipulating it, and that's why I'm going to wait till like I said, the pre-market open and see if there's more of a more setups rather than this. This is what they like doing, chopping you guys out, myself included. Okay, again, it's bouncing off the fib here, the fib retrace, and that's exactly what it did. And again, it may test this right here, this first, it's 121% extension. That's where your first target usually is. It never got close to it, but never really got up there because of this fair value area here, right? That was from yesterday. It's very strong. Okay, so with that, I will let you guys go. Here, official tally. Where am I here? So the official tally is, I think I'm down. You guys, I can post this there and see. Not every day is a winner, but most likely your winners are bigger than your losses. Again, I'm down 461, which ain't that bad at all. 461. So I'm going to wait till either the pre-market, and I think we do have some. Wait, we have news coming out. This coming at 8 at what is that? 8:30 Eastern, right? Let me check to be sure that you guys know. Yesterday's news was not really highly impactful. It hardly moved the market. So today is what? Today is Thursday. And yes, 8:30, we have the final GDP, and we have unemployment claims. So that may move the market. But again, this is a holiday. It may not move that much. You shall see, right? But I usually trade the effects of that news or what's going on in the pre-market. Like I said, I started around 8
p.m. Philippine time, 7 a.m. Eastern. You'll see some movement there and be able some setups there as well. Again, you see this about just bounced off. Like I said, the +1 deviation. It's gonna probably test up here somewhere, and look what it did. That's exactly what it's been doing. Just look at go left and see what it's been doing. It's been testing this +1 and just bouncing off the +1 deviation like it did here. It just had a deep pullback, and now let's see what happens here in terms of where these candles close. If it's going to be closing above the 50 EMA, or is it going to use this 21 EMA as a bounce off to further come down? Again, you see the cumulative delta is decreasing to the downside. It's increasing to the upside. So there's again a potential where it may come back up. Again, that's being chopped out. You had a good momentum, not really that big, just a weak momentum. Look at the size of those candles, not that big. That's why it's weak momentum. Okay, guys, so I'll see you guys. I'll be taping the overnight pre-market open, because once I start doing, let me see if I can have enough bandwidth, because sometimes my data gets hung up. See, right now my data is good because there's not that much volatility or orders coming in. You can see here my data is less. There's no lag. It's less than 1% lag, or 1 second lag, which is good. You can see that's why I keep track of my lag here. Okay, so here it looks like it's going to come back up. Those of you still looking to take a short, most likely you're going to be stopped out. Be wary of these choppy markets. Just know where the price is. We're still obviously in an uptrend. We just had a pullback to the 38.2 or 36.2 fib retracement, and now it's trying to get back up here. That's what it looks like. Again, it depends if this candle closes above the 50 EMA, which is the white line, right? Again, this is decreasing. So again, choppy market. See you guys. Take care. Good luck, and I wish you guys success in the trading later. If you guys plan to trade the morning session or even the pre-market open. Okay. It's already been too long. It's 2 hours. I didn't want to last that long on a London, where we started off with a London market open. But as you can see, the movement they did on the London open, they had it well before, an hour before the London open. That's where they made their move. And sometimes that's what they do. Okay. See you guys. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.